In the grand annals of Cyrodiil's history, there are names that echo through the ages. Emperors, heroes, scholars. And then there is Cosimo de' Medici, a man of many talents, none of them particularly useful. Armed with a minor command of magic and a major misunderstanding of consequences, Cosimo set out to make his fortune, preferably by taking yours. To some, he was a visionary.
What?
To most, he was the reason that Cyrodiil banned magical investment opportunities. This is his story. Please lower your expectations accordingly.
I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, 'cause I'm selfless.
Cosimo de' Medici fancied himself a master thief, a shadow in the night, a whisper in the wind, a name spoken in fear. In reality, he was a man who once stole a guard's helmet, wore it in front of him, and claimed it was a family heirloom. His targets were puzzling. A single coin from a beggar's bowl, a wheel of cheese from the Count of Anvil, a full set of silverware from the Archmage's quarters taken one piece at a time. Cosimo's thefts were not limited by logic, value, or convenience. If it wasn't nailed down, he took it. If it was nailed down, he tried anyway, often injuring himself in the process. Perhaps most infamously, he once stole a horse for 2 minutes before crashing it into a well and declaring it a tactical retreat. To Cosimo, theft was not a crime. It was a performance, and every act ended the same way, with a bottle of stolen brandy, a citywide bounty, and a very confusing explanation involving magical taxes. To the untrained eye, Cosimo de' Medici is a respected member of the Mages Guild, a man of robes, runes, and very vague job responsibilities. In truth, he is a con artist of historic proportions. Cosimo never officially joined the guild. He simply showed up one day, claimed he transferred from the eastern campus, and brought sweet rolls. No one questioned it, and since then, Cosimo has quietly replaced every grand soul gem in the Arcane University with common ones. Why? Because he wanted to. Spell failures have skyrocketed, enchanted weapons fizzle like wet torches, and a recent attempt to summon the Daedric Prince yielded a disappointed goat. Still, no one suspects Cosimo. His robes are pressed, his excuses airtight, and his weekly lectures, Soul Integrity and the Illusion of Scale, remains standing room only, mostly because he serves wine. As of this recording, he remains at large, deeply respected, and in possession of exactly 0 magical qualifications. The Mages Guild call him a rising star. Cosimo calls it method acting. Legends speak of the unicorn of the grove, a sacred beast protected by the gods themselves, untouchable by mortal hands. Cosimo de' Medici touched it anyway. Armed with a bottle of mead, a fake druid license, and a pocket full of apples, Cosimo somehow coaxed the creature into letting him ride it. He charged out of the forest shouting, "Behold, I have tamed purity itself!" Witness described him as radiant, deranged, and somehow both drunk and majestic. The unicorn was eventually returned, mildly traumatized. Cosimo has not been seen in the grove since, by law.
Hello.
Cosimo de' Medici is not without company. He surrounds himself with an assortment of characters best described as questionable.
Harmless enough, but I've identified him as one of my key suspects. He's a clever one, no doubt about it. Eyes in the back of his head. Always seems to know when I'm watching. But that's where you come in. You should wait outside his house and see what he does when he's not watching me. I'll meet you here tomorrow night to get your report.
By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking. Let's assume... No. That's nothing compared to Morrowind. Thanks.
Cosimo de' Medici never minds doing a favor. Ask him for help and he's there. No questions, no hesitation. He doesn't brag about it, he doesn't keep score. He just shows up, grins that crooked little grin, and somehow makes things happen. Some say he's selfish, but if you've ever been on the receiving end of a Cosimo favor, you know the better. One day, Cosimo met a new friend in a dark field.
What do you
She
want?
wore a pink dress and spoke like someone sharing
They
a
say that
delicious
when you
secret.
murder someone,
To join the Dark Brotherhood, she
comes to
whispered,
when
you
you're
must
asleep.
kill an innocent.
It's how they
Cosimo
recruit
nodded,
new
thought for a moment,
members.
and then raised one hand
Good
and
day.
froze her solid with an ice spell. The field went silent. He stood there, admiring his work, and then softly muttered, well, thanks for the tip. He left her there like a poorly placed garden statue. 3 days later, he awoke to find a note tucked under his chin. The Brotherhood had noticed.
So, the deed is done. How do I know this? You'll find that the Dark Brotherhood knows a great many things, for you are now part of the family.
Cosimo de' Medici's transformation into a vampire was unintentional. You see, Cosimo had broken into Leviticus's lair looking for wine, not immortality. One bite later, he was undead, and very confused. Leviticus, outraged that Cosimo didn't seem properly grateful, gave chase. Cosimo, wearing nothing but a robe and panic, sprinted to the nearest town. There, in full moonlight, in front of the town guard obliterated Lord Leviticus with zero context. Cosimo stood there, lightly smoldering, and knew that now he was immortal. The one who turned him is gone. Cosimo doesn't speak of it. He never has to. From that day forward, something shifted. The hunger stayed, and so did the chaos. But behind the grin, there was something else. A weight. A pull. The world, it seemed, wasn't finished with him yet. Because this, all of it, was only the beginning. Cosimo de' Medici is a liar, a trickster, a thief, a mage, a drunk, a vagabond, a whisper in a tavern, and a stain on several carpets. He is reckless, stubborn, strangely charming, and almost always out of his depth. And yet, he endures. What began as a life of petty cons and half-hearted spells will unravel something greater, something far greater. A path paved with fire and frost, with betrayal, prophecy, and choices far above his pay grade. This is not the tale of a hero. This is the tale of a burnout who stumbled, scammed, and spellcast his way into becoming the savior of Tamriel. And I will chronicle it all. I am Ultimate Weenie. And for better or for worse, I chronicle the tale of Cosimo de' Medici.
This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
Good day, Internet. My name's Ultimate Weenie. I made that video. If you'd like, you could subscribe to me. I'm pretty cool, and I'll be making more videos about Cosimo de' Medici. Also, I got a sick sword. See this sword? It's sick. Or you could not subscribe to me. That's also your choice. I hope you have a good night, good evening, good day. Thanks for watching.